Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey, everybody. We got a special guest here with us today. Once again, joining us from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. You can find him on Truth Lies Shenanigans, the podcast and live show that airs every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on tlsshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rob B. Rock is here with us today.
Hey, welcome guys, back. What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for having me again. It's a real treat to join you again this evening.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for coming.
Rob, you're such a professional. So we're going to be completely unprofessional this entire time.
Wicked. I can do that too.
Excellent. All right, so let's jump right into it. We've got some things to talk about and checked out. Then we're going to get into there's a lot of actual good movie news this week. So let's get right into it. There is a review up. Demetrius and I talked about his time going to see Free Guy. This is the Ryan Reynolds new like video game movie, which is doing really well, like review wise. Like people seem to really like it. It's exclusive to theater, so I'm very interested to see what those numbers look like next week. But check out that review. It's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/the Nerdpocalypse, or you can go to the Coming Distractions podcast feed wherever you get podcasts and listen to the audio version. Next up, I watched the first 2 episodes of Reservation Dogs. This is Taika Waititi and Sterling. What is this guy's name? I don't want to forget it. Sterling Harjo's new series on FX. And I guess this is FX on Hulu exclusively, I guess. So this show is about a couple of Native American kids on a reservation. They're referred to as Res Dogs, which is a slang term for like stray dogs on reservations. And interestingly enough, I didn't know that. But it's just like these kind of like a little bit of like scumbag kids who like just steal shit. That's what they do. And this is in the trailer. They steal a truck with like basically like flaming hot Cheetos, like a flaming hot Cheetos delivery truck, in the first episode. And that kind of sparks off like their sort of journey as they're on the reservation. And there's like a competing gang of kids that are also on the reservation they have to deal with. But it's about them sort of trying to get money so that they can move away because they have grown up on the reservation. They had a friend who died, like a year previously before the show started. And they're sort of in mourning of him. And so it's got like this like weirdly serious tone. Not weird, but like it has this like overarching serious tone, but it's also hilarious because they are like 15, 16-year-old kids doing scumbag shit. And like they're trying to do better, right? Like they're trying to use their evil ideas for good, so to speak. But it's funny. Like it's really funny. And it's cool to see Native American kids actually get like a full push. It's actually pretty dope. So I highly recommend it. The first 2 episodes are out so far, but the first episode's good setup. The second episode is fucking hilarious. Like it's really quite funny. So yeah, if you like Taika Waititi's style, you'll like this.
You know, I'm notorious for coming on here and complaining about child actors, right? And I don't really consider these people, if they're like 15, 16, I don't really consider them child actors. But, young people get on my nerves because that's like where I'm at right now in my, and in life. But Taika Waititi does an incredible job directing young people, right? Like you look at Hunt for the Wilder People. And you look at, Jojo Rabbit. He can pull performances out of these actors, and maybe it's not him pulling performances. Maybe like these young actors are just that good.
The main kid is 19 years old in real life. I just looked it up. So yeah, he's not super young, but still like to carry the weight of a television series is like that's not a joke at 19.
Yeah, man. And like you said, man, like, in this country, I'm sure it's different in Canada, but in this country, all of our Native American representation is on helmets and jerseys. And, and it's not, they're not exactly like they just got rid of Chief Wahoo. They just got rid of him. They just got rid of the Washington football team's name last year.
Right, like this stuff isn't like 55, 100 years ago.
Protest too,
right? And it was right. It was
pressure, and finally just kind of threw his arms up. Went, you know what? We're the Washington football team. Fuck it.
No, it wasn't even that.
No.
They wanted to pull the sponsorship from the stadium.
Right,
and he was like,
FedEx has their name on and logo in the stadium, and FedEx said, "You better change the name, or we'll pull it out." And that's what did it.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't all that protesting ain't mean shit. Money on the table or money leaving the table. That was it. Yeah. So it's good. It's a fun time. Again, it's not like, hey, some Native American kids, but like, let's focus on white people. Like, no, not at all. Like there is, as I think about it, there's maybe like really one white person who had a speaking role. Like that's it. And it was just like a nurse at a clinic, and it was just like a setup for a joke with like two characters. But for the most part, no, like everybody on there is a person of color. But it's dope, man. Like the local cop is, he was in the Last Purge. He was like the badass Native American dude in the Last Purge who was just like helping Mexican people kill white people who were like bigots. And I was like, this guy's awesome. Yeah, he's the cop, and he's funny. Like he actually is pretty good. His name is Zon McClarnon. He was on apparently the second season of Westworld as well. But I highly recommend it. Like, I think it's really cool. Like, we talk about representation all the time, and like black people, like finally, like it's not even obviously, but like finally getting to like a real push over the last, number of years. And like, it's high time. Like we're seeing East Asian folks finally getting a real push, now. And it's like, it's high time Native Americans do. Like, it's way too late for them. Like, come on, man. Like, that should have been the first, like, mea culpa. Like, all right, you get a TV show at least,
Yeah, I'm really eager for it to start streaming in Canada because I'm a huge fan of Taika Waititi's work. It's anything that he's got his hand in. It strikes a great nerve with me. I just love it. And to me, it's going to be interesting how it translates to the Native experience, the Native American experience, because I did watch a YouTube video, Indigenous people react to Res Dogs, and they were just watching the trailer, and they seem to be really enjoying it. And I guess in Canada, we've had a little bit more representation in the media as far as Indigenous people are concerned. There's special grants that are available, and they use them. And we've seen a slew of great Native American actors. Adam Beach he was just a young guy acting in Canada. We've seen him in a series of Hollywood movies. So it's to me, I think it's going to be more interesting to see how my friends react to it, how the experience translates to them, because Taika Waititi has some experience, I guess, with New Zealand. I guess just knowing some of the, there's no brown people here. And
right.
So it'll be interesting to see how that translates to the North American Indigenous population. So it's but like I said, anything he touches, I seem to love. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it's not two guys teaming up, even if they are, two people of color teaming up to do this, and one of them not being Native American. So I like the fact that like Sterling Harjo not only co-created this and he's Native, but he's also the writer of every episode, or the co-writer of every single episode of this season. So that's kind of cool. Like it is firmly held in the hands of people with those experiences, or, close, at least maybe one step out from those experiences. So that's important. But yeah, Reservation Dogs is funny. Like, highly recommend it. Next up, all right, so all of us watched Suicide Squad. So this is going to be a spoiler conversation about Suicide Squad. We have our formal review. What's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
We have our formal review. It's up on youtube.com/Nerdpocalypse. Again, you can go to the Coming Distractions podcast feed to listen to the audio version of that that Mike and I did. So if you are watching this, like, fast forward, I'll try to put a timestamp in when the conversation is over. All right, Suicide Squad. Rob, we haven't talked to you about it. I know how Micah feels about the movie. What did you think of it?
I wanted to like it. I really did. It felt so contrived. My wife and I love these movies, and the original is one of the reasons why my wife got into graphic novels in the first place. And this one just felt flat. She fell asleep on the couch watching this one.
Yeah.
It was really just too big a cast that turned what should have been an 80-minute movie into 2 hours and 12 minutes. There was just so much filler and backstory that was, it didn't captivate me. I'm not a big fan of Cena as an actor, and he was completely one-dimensional in his delivery as he was. It was just, it was tough to get through this one, unfortunately.
Okay.
It really was.
All right. That's fair. Yeah, I do think it's my one gripe with it is I think it's a little too long. Like that I would agree with. However, I'm on the other side of that. I loved it. I thought it was great. To say it's better than the first Suicide Squad is like, that's not why we're even having that conversation. Like, I don't know why people even like comparing them. Like, yeah, it's not even fair. But I thought it was great. It's, to me, I think like James Gunn's ability to take people that no one gives a shit about in comic books for the most part, and translate them in a modern way to make them work, I think is really like, that's his superpower, right? Like, I think it is. For people to actually be like, oh, I really liked, Polka Dot Man of all characters. Like, come on, man. Like, that is not a character anybody's supposed to give a shit about.
Right? Because he's just this psychedelic 60s character from the DC era. Right. It's like, well, this guy's got question marks on his suit. Give him polka dots.
Right. Like, it was like someone lifting their head off of a mound of cocaine. It was like, I don't know, Polka Dot Man? Who cares? Like, how much money are we making? So to kind of turn characters like that and Weasel and Blackguard, or characters who just nobody gives a shit about, into people you're like, oh, what's going to happen? I mean, you didn't really care what happened to Blackguard. That was kind of funny. But that is kind of cool to see. And Pete Davidson was perfect for that. Like, he served the exact purpose.
It's just like, oh, Pete Davidson just got shot in the face. I'm sure a lot of people like that.
Fine.
All right.
It's fine. So I thought that was kind of cool. I like that he had the balls to do Starro. Like, it's such a bonkers DC villain. I never thought I'd see that in live action ever. Like,
I did enjoy the whole take on Starro. That was well done.
Yeah,
that was really enjoyable.
Yeah, Micah, your thoughts?
So I in our former review, I called this the most expensive B movie ever made, and and it is, right. It is. And I feel like if you don't know that going in, that this is a B movie, I feel like the trailers gave it away. You know, pretty much like, hey, this is a bunch of nobodies, right? Played by a couple of big name actors. But this entire, there's a whole 12-person cast, and it's called Suicide Squad, right? So a lot of these people aren't going to make it. I didn't think that they would kill half of them in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like this movie is better than the first, man. I for the simple fact that, James Gunn was given the time to actually write a story, right? Like all of the issues of that first Suicide Squad movie, it comes down to the writing, and it comes down to the fact that they gave Joe Carnahan?
No, David Ayer.
David Ayer. They gave David Ayer like
6 weeks
to write it.
6 weeks.
6 weeks to write it, and it shows. The acting I feel is better. I feel like I cared more about the characters. It was a little, the gore was fine, but it's a little too much of it for me. Not too much of it, but like, I don't need to see Rick Flag like the moment his heart stops beating. God damn.
Yes, you did.
I mean, it was cool, but like,
It's it's a little gratuitous. 100%.
This is too much, right? But I have fun with it though, and that's the thing. I have fun with this movie, and a lot of these DC movies, I just haven't had fun with in a long time, and it's nice to just kind of like, I don't know, see bad guys being bad, and now I just need the good guys to be good, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't need a morose Superman. You know what I mean? Like let's give me the classic Superman before you subvert my expectations, right?
Right.
But yeah, man, I feel like Idris Elba was his character was a better character than Deadshot, even though they are the same character.
Are they?
a black guy who's a sharpshooter who has a strained relationship with his daughter. Like, God damn,
nothing was funnier than them basically playing to that with Cena's character. Like, this guy, like, and he was like, "You just do what I do. Like, you're the same guy
with smaller bullets."
The smaller bullets.
I know you weren't a fan of John Cena. I thought he was hysterical. Now this is coming from someone who is a big professional wrestling fan. Those are my like telenovelas, right? Like everybody's got their soap operas. That's my soap opera. And I'm a fan of that guy. And it's funny, he shows way more personality as these characters than he does in like real life. And it's odd to me. But I thought he stole most of the scenes that he was in. Ratcatcher 2. Look, I hate rodents, but I actually really love that character.
I thought she was great.
One of the, she was one of the characters that, was the heart of the movie, right? The thing that
she was endearing. She had an endearing quality to her.
Yeah. Very much so. And then she put out 1 million rats to try and take down Starro. And I was just like, okay, all right. That's it for me.
Like, can we pull back further? Can we just pull the camera back as far as possible?
I don't like rodents, guys. I don't like rodents.
Not a fan.
And yeah, man, like Polka Dot Man, like we talked about it briefly, but like that character has severe mommy issues, and the way that it is manifested in the movie is perfect.
It was hilarious.
Like, it's hilarious to me. Like, I think that movies are a medium where you show, not just tell, right? Like, you got to take advantage of the fact that it's a visual medium. And just saying that, like, oh, I just picture my mom everywhere. Like, okay, but it has so much more impact when you see it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, when he sees Starro as his mother, and it's just like that fuels him and gives him the rage to keep going. Like, that's awesome to me. Whereas, like, in the first Suicide Squad movie, you had Diablo, who was a similar character who was troubled a bit, but it's like I don't know. It didn't hit the same.
It was just it was bad writing. Like that's I mean, not to get into this topic too deeply, but that's why I have zero interest in an Ayer cut of his Suicide Squad. They gave you 6 weeks to write it. It's not good. And it doesn't mean that David Ayer is a bad writer. I don't actually think David Ayer is a bad writer necessarily, but he wasn't given enough time. Unless you've worked on a new script and you have filmed new footage, it's the same 6 week 6 week time frame script. So like it won't change much. It certainly I have zero interest in it. But look, I thought it was pretty good. Like, I thought the character moments were really great. One of my favorite scenes though is the scene between Peacemaker and Bloodsport as they're walking through the camp, just showing off, killing people. That part I thought was pretty well executed. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, like overall, I had a really good time with it. I like the idea that Weasel survived because his death was hilarious. Like, nobody figured out that Weasel can't swim.
No, nobody checked. Nobody checked.
Checked on that. Like,
anybody? No.
Well, it's like proving like the incompetence of government. Like even at the highest levels, like, oh yeah, we forgot to check on that.
Shit. Nope. Nobody did. Damn.
So I thought that was good. I look forward to seeing what they do with this franchise if they go back to it. right? Because I think if you go back to it again and do Suicide Squad 2 or whatever, however you want to call it, the Suicide Squad, like, do they not include someone like Harley and they give you all low-level people, right? Because you knew Harley was going to make it, right? Like, Margot Robbie's character is too big. Like that you knew. You weren't sure Idris Elba was going to make it. Like, he might not. Like, I don't see him coming around as being a character in the DCEU, like, long-term at all. But it would be cool to just pick a team of all nobodies. Just complete nobody. I'm sure they still have some folks. And just see. Like, and and then you could literally kill anyone you wanted to. So, bring back some of the people from the first one. Bring back Katana. This time do her right. Right? Like, there are characters you could do. So yeah, overall I thought it was good. I think DC would be smart to snag James Gunn and have him be the producer for them for their entire universe. I think they'd be smart. He doesn't have to direct anything else, but that guy clearly has a beat on like understanding characters, like if nothing else. So it'd be smart. But since it's smart, that's not what they're going to do. They will pick whatever the most opposite thing of that is.
I mean, this could be a turnaround, right?
I hope so.
A serious turnaround, right? Like I don't hate all of those movies. I just hate. I am not a fan of like most. Aquaman was fine. Aquaman was fine.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
First Wonder Woman was great.
Yep.
The second one not so much. No. The first Man of Steel I liked. Everything else with Superman in it I did not care for.
No. Birds of Prey is pretty fun.
I've heard.
And Shazam is fun. Like
very much so. Like
Shazam is a solid kids movie. Like it's a solid like 80s feel like kids movie. And it really works. And I'm looking forward to the sequel to that. Like
yeah, well that's it. They ended the Shazam movie with a wonderful glimpse of what's coming next.
Oh yeah.
Just like, ooh, they're doing
absolutely.
It. They're doing it.
Yeah, that was a fun surprise at the end of that movie too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, look, I think it's it'll be interesting to see what they do with Gunn, because they said Walter Hamada was like, yeah, no, Gunn can come back and do whatever he wants, and we've got some plans. I'm like, yeah, you should hire him like a lot. Like you need his help. You do, because you don't need his aesthetic necessarily as the basis for the DCEU. You need his brain though. Like that guy has worked with Kevin Feige. He sees how to put things together. He's clearly capable of putting a lot of moving parts together. Apparently, like his whole thing is he storyboards every single scene he shoots, which is not a normal thing for directors. So the dude has a vision. So like, I don't know, choose that guy. Like you could use his help, because I don't know what the hell you're doing right now. It's not working. All right, let's talk about the first episode of What If, Captain Carter. Obviously, this is the animated series on Disney Plus. This episode was the scenario that Sharon Carter has to jump into the steroids machine instead of Steve Rogers, right before he gets the serum to change into Captain America. I loved it. I thought it was great. The pacing is, as Micah said, in a chat between him and I, it is at a breakneck speed. I would agree with that. That's probably my biggest issue, is just the pacing is really fast. But I mean, they were showing Sharon Carter doing shit that was just fantastic. Ideas that I wish they had for Steve Rogers in the first Captain America. I mean, it was awesome. What did you guys think?
Loved it. It's I find it funny that there's fanboys out there that are critiquing and poo-pooing, the fact that What If Captain Carter Were the First Avenger isn't one of the books that's already inked. So It's a long-running series, and some people are shitting on that aspect of it. But stop your whining, watch it, and love it. It was absolutely wonderful. These types of alternate story timelines really appeal to me. I love the DC Elseworld series. And like you said, like some of the action sequences, I wish they would have done with Captain America. And it was neat. Just when they were getting ready to raid the train, I was just like, oh, this is like right out of the movie.
Yeah.
They're still doing this. This is awesome. But yeah, it went, especially when they did that little montage with the big band music and she's just kicking ass. It's just kind of, it's like 30, 40 seconds, just like, yeah, do it, Captain Carter.
I love that.
I thought it was pretty good. I did enjoy it, but I do have some critiques. First off, the action was great, right? This is one of the things about animation that is a positive is that you can do these ridiculous looking action scenes and you accept it because you know you're watching animation, right? Whereas if you do it in live action, like you know, the human mind knows what the human body is capable of doing. So that's why when people say, when people complain about some special effects, they say, oh, it looked fake, right? It looked like a cartoon. Well, yeah, this is a cartoon. So you could, and it makes it, so all the action was great. Haley Atwell is wonderful. You can tell she was so into this. She was so into this character. And she was like, you could hear it in her performance, right? Josh Keaton is the actor who played Steve Rogers. And he did a wonderful job because he is an actual trained voice actor. And I'm about to get on my voice actor soapbox. Sebastian Stan, on the other hand,
stellar performance.
He felt like you can tell when someone's reading something, right? It's like when you give an athlete some like radio car commercial, and it's just like, hey, come down to Eastern Motors where your job is your credit and you can buy a car. Like, yo, you're reading, right? You're reading. That's what I felt like Sebastian Stan was doing. And Dominic Cooper, I don't know what Dominic Cooper was doing. He played Howard Stark. He played Howard Stark in the films also. And he played those two characters very differently. Like he played Howard Stark like a fast talking wise guy. See? Like, wait, whoa, what is going on? What are you doing?
What's going on here?
What's going on here? Oh, yeah, boy, that dame is something special, isn't she? Like, okay. That really irked me, man. That really irked me. And the only other thing that kind of I was taken aback a little bit was some of the facial animation. When they're speaking, the mouths in particular looked odd to me. Because it's not like dubbing for anime where you get the product and then the actor who is dubbing has to adjust their speech and their cadence to match the lip flaps. This looks like they had the actors read their lines and then they animated the facial like lips
that's interesting
to the actors' performances. And I don't know. It didn't,
I don't like that.
it didn't really work for me. And I'm hoping that it's cleaned up a little bit, but the concept, right? Let's get to the concept. I always love, like you said, Bob, I always love turning these things on their head, right? And just seeing what else could happen. And I love Haley Atwell, and I think that watching Captain Carter kicking ass and taking names was the coolest shit I have seen in a long time.
And what I appreciated about it is it was girl power without being girl power.
Right. Like
it wasn't like Captain Marvel. It was done
right
in a subtle, natural fashion. It wasn't just jammed in my face. Hey, it's girl power.
Right.
Hey,
and they weren't playing just a girl in the background. Like, I get it, right? Like, I get it.
No, this was Agent Carter becoming Captain Carter, kicking ass and taking names.
And importantly, they didn't so there's two sides of that, right? There's the you can go overboard and you're like, yeah, I know, but what about the plot? Which can happen, right? But then you can also go the other end, which is trying to ignore it. Like, yeah, no, a woman in World War II, being the icon for like strength, that would just go over fine. Like, no, you can't ignore that. Like, that would be a problem, right?
Some people can't handle it now.
Right. Yeah.
they can't handle it now.
You saw the message I sent you. I was just like, what is happening?
Jay sent me a message of someone complaining, it was a still of Captain Carter there looking like a badass, right? Somebody, let me see if I can find it. Someone was complaining that Peggy's shoulders aren't that broad. This is a drawing of a dude whose head was erased and had Peggy's photoshopped on.
But why would they do that? They drew it. They drew it. Like, they're not using some other art. They're not Greg Land, okay? Like, he's a tracer. Greg Land is a tracer.
They've given her an Amazonian stature.
Like,
and one thing I really appreciated,
she's on drugs.
One element that I really loved about it is that they didn't hypersexualize her at all.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, she's in a full she's in a full suit like Captain America.
And it's not like a traditional suit that's basically a bikini spandex outfit.
Right.
It was tastefully done, and I really enjoyed how she was portrayed all the way through.
Right. You don't see an outline of her chest. Like, and there, hey, criminals, check this out. Like, no, like that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Aim here, right?
Pew, pew.
Right, exactly. Like, why are her nipples through the shirt? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I appreciated that. Look, I have to say the MCU, they screwed over Chris Evans by not allowing him to be dropped out of the sky and just taking on Nazi pilots. Cause that was awesome. Like, that was a super clever idea. But I also like that they gave Steve Rogers something to do. Which I thought was, that's the thing that sucks about sort of the Peggy Carter character, as it were. Like, when she started in the MCU, it was kind of like, well, yeah, she's working behind enemy, or she's working with the Allies and all that. That's fine. But it wasn't until like Agent Carter, the show, like, to really give her something to do, where I'm glad they sort of fixed that and they made them a team, right? Like, and I think that's smart, right? Like, yes, she's a superhero. Obviously, the dude can't walk, right? Like, but, people are like, well, he was saving her the whole time. Like, no, he wasn't. Like,
he really wasn't.
Like, she literally saved him. Like, he was captured. Like, what are you talking? Like, I don't think people watch shows. Like, and just
and if he saved her, guess what? She saved the world, Like,
right? Like, who cares? People have saved Captain America too, by the way. I don't know if you've been watching this.
Otherwise, his ass would still be on ice.
Right. Exactly. I like that's not a that's a poor argument of like pushing up female characters that they never need assistance. That's a stupid argument, and I hate when people make that. Like, they should be perfect, and like, no, they don't have to be perfect. They're superheroes. Like, the male character shouldn't be perfect either, right? Like, that's how it works.
The first Avenger, but they build out a team, a network to help one another.
Right. Like, come on, yo.
Hello.
Oh my God, man.
But yeah, I did dig them as a team. Like, her riding on the back of this like Gen 1 Iron Man suit was fucking awesome. Like, it was just it was very clever. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what the other ones are. I hope that they're not just rehashes of the movies. Like, Micah, you and I were having that conversation. Like, you're hoping for like a different part of that story, like just completely change some parts of the story.
Yeah, I want something that's, this was effectively the first Avenger with the male and female lead switched. And, there's some minor differences here and there, but that was essentially it. And I want them to like really go crazy with it. I'm hoping that they really go wild with it, right? Like, what if T'Challa is Star-Lord? Like, I don't want him to, like, I want him to still be the king of Wakanda, right? Like, I don't want him to just be like, oh, I don't want him to be like the kid from LA who has African roots.
No, but I think from my understanding, he gets taken when he's young, so he's not the king. But I think the Killmonger story, where he saves Tony Stark, he becomes the king of Wakanda. So it's like they're like kind of splitting that story.
All right.
Well, I think that's how it's working.
I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what's what. And yeah, man, like bring it on. I'm down for these.
Yeah. And look, remember, we have 8 more of these. Like, we only really know tangentially like 4 other stories. Like, there's 5 episodes like we have no idea what they're about, right? Like Captain Carter, we know the zombies one. Like,
Marvel Zombies is one of my favorite.
That's a fun story.
Universe, man. I've got every book, and I mean, I love reading them. I pick them up and I just read them. I love that Marvel and zombie.
It's I've never read all of it, but I've read some of it, and I've had a pretty good time with it.
Yeah. I love zombies and I love Marvel, so it's
easy. Yeah, it was easy for you. Easy pickings. But it's like you've got Captain Carter, the Star-Lord, T'Challa story, Marvel Zombies, Killmonger, and like Doctor Strange somewhere, like, right? Because we don't really know what his story is. But we also have a Spider-Man story. We have no idea what that is. We've got a Guardians of the Galaxy story. It looks like they saved New York. And then you have like a party Thor thing, but I don't know if that's the same episode. But there's like maybe 4, maybe up to like 3 to 5 episodes we have 0 ideas about, which is very cool. Like, I like that.
Do you think they'll all be bottled stories, or do you think that some of them will have like 2-parters?
Oh, I see.
They're going to be bottle episodes. That's just from the intro. That's kind of the feel that I got from it, just with the prism breaking up, and it's just, okay, so these are just little snippets. They might do something more complex that requires a 2-parter, but I don't know. I think they'd be doing themselves a disservice initially.
I wouldn't be adverse to that, but like no more than 2 episodes for a story, right? Like you said, the first, this story, like, it was moving, man. And I get it, right? Yeah. Like, if you're watching this, you've seen the first Avenger, right? Like,
it'd be a bit weird if you hadn't.
Yeah, right. You don't need the whole story retold, but yeah, I don't know. It all depends, but I am excited for it. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have if they're gonna be one story with multiple episodes, but it does seem like I at least the implication that I get, like when you hear the Watcher talking, is that Captain Carter's her Sharon Carter becoming Captain Carter changes the entire universe. So I think they're all connected. I don't think they're all separate, like wildly, like it's basically its own Infinity Saga, right? Like it's its own thing, but like she's the linchpin by which everything else changes. And I think that will be interesting, right? Like, I mean, the scene that you see in one of the trailers is literally the Guardians of the Galaxy do the 360 turn instead of the classic Avengers, right? Like, so something she does sparks off all these different moves and is T'Challa, like, I guess he's head of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So he's one of the guys who saves New York. Like, that's kind of interesting. Like there's a lot of like interconnecting that can happen between those characters. If I'm correct, I have no idea, but that's sort of the impression that I got. So I don't know. I look forward to it. And I'm glad it comes on Wednesdays. Makes it easier for us to watch it and talk about it. So thanks, Marvel. Instead of making them on fucking Fridays, which was the worst. All right. Next up, Micah, I don't know what the story is, and you told me not to read it. So
yeah, so this isn't stupid tech. This is more of a stupid person using tech. So Rob, what you may not know is that Jay is he's a bit of a political junkie. He like the average dullard who follows sports, he follows politics.
Yeah, I'm an average dullard who follows politics. That's exactly right.
He is very much into it. And he's told me this on many occasions that He thinks that this person is one of the greatest legal minds in history.
There's no way I said that.
So go ahead and click the link, Jay.
Hold on. All right. Oh, God damn it. God damn it.
He is a huge fan of Rudy Giuliani. And I'm sure that and I'm sure that he cannot wait to get a cameo.
$375. What? That's a steal, man. That's a steal. That's a steal.
It was.
Yeah, the real shocker is if you scroll down to the bottom and you see what Fran Drescher is asking. $500.
Wow.
Get out of here. For the nanny, get out of here, man.
Jodie Sweetin wants $150. The guy from Rascal Flatts. Get out. Yo, Drew Brees wants $750. Knock it off. Look, this isn't the first Trump guy to end up on Cameo. What's his name is also on there too. What's his name? He's got the fucking podcast Mea Culpa. What is his name? I hit Michael something. I forget. But yeah, that dude is on there. Like, there's a bunch of people. Michael Cohen, thank you. Yeah, like there's a bunch of people on there just trying to make a buck. $375. Rudy Giuliani is in a world of trouble. He's trying to ask $375. It's crazy.
It was initially $200.
Oh, he's trying to get paid.
But you gotta form the legal defense fund now.
Well, no. He tried that on Fundly. He tried doing a Rudy Giuliani legal defense fund. And the goal was to aim $5 million, and they shut it down after they raised just under $10K.
Oh my God, he's going to go to prison. Rudy. He's going to go to prison. I love it. I love it.
It's not every day that you face a $1.3 billion defamation lawsuit. It's not every day that you face that. So
yeah. Latest reports was he kept asking like, "Hey Trump, you help me out?" He's like, "I don't know you.
I'm done with you.
Yeah,
I'm done with you. Who are you?
Yeah, who? Yeah, it's more like
what have you done for me lately?
Right.
It's been a long time since Hungary.
Yeah, like get out of here, dude. That's hilarious. I kind of want. If it was $75, I swear to God, if it was $75, I would pay it just to get him to say something that we could play on our political show. It'd be worth it. It'd be worth it. By the way, he's charging 3 times as much as Kevin Conroy, who is Batman, is charging on Cameo. That's ridiculous. Rudy Giuliani isn't as cool as Kevin Conroy. Knock it off. He's not even as cool as Jodie Sweetin. Please. That's amazing. Man. $375.
Yeah, I figured that would be something that you would be interested in.
Well, look, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just putting it out there to the fans. My birthday's coming up in March. If you guys all want to put your money together, send it to Micah, and Micah can pay for Rudy Giuliani to give me a personalized message.
Yes,
that would be awesome. Yeah, no, he ain't gonna do it.
Send it to me.
Yeah, he gonna pocket $375 and be like, damn, they didn't do nothing.
Micah's like, send me his birthday money. Send me his birthday
money. Send it to me. Fine. I'll do it.
Jay, I bought you some fine cognac.
Well, I don't have to worry about that from Micah.
Huh? I don't know what cognac looks like.
Yeah, he has no idea.
I don't drink. I've never had a real drink in my life. And
yep. Just like an undercover LA cop. Never had a drink in my life. Right.
I put it in my mouth. I just never swallowed.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Yeah. You taste and spit, right? It's
like
what you do at wineries, right?
All right. Wow, that's amazing. All right. Next up, Rob, you brought this to us.
Yeah. So I really don't know how I missed this, but in September of 2020, Rubik's launched the Rubik's Connected. So I'm a child of the 80s. I knew the frustration of trying to figure out a Rubik's Cube.
Pause. Have you ever completed a Rubik's Cube?
I've completed 2 sides, and then the remaining 4 sides come together when you do the rebuild.
Okay, so that's a no. Good. As long as I don't have to ask Micah. I already know what the answer is.
I did. You take the stickers off and then you put them where they're supposed to be.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all idiots. Cool. Continue.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all at the same level.
Rubik's Connected is pretty amazing because it's a Bluetooth connected device with an app and tutorials. So it helps you figure out the patterns and the algorithms so that you can actually get to the solution. You can, because I remember as a kid, even just consulting books and guides, and it's just like, but mine doesn't look like this right now. Come on. This doesn't.
Dude, I have never been able to.
If it maps it out and shows you what to do, over time, you can actually develop the competency to solve this damn puzzle. And it's neat that we're talking about it right now because Rubik's Connected is the official partner of the Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup 2021. Like, just down a couple of Red Bull and go for it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen those professional kids do it?
Oh my God, they're insane.
Dude, they're like 5 seconds. Like blindfolded with like fighting ninjas at the same time. Like, yo, how? It's crazy.
They're currently in the digital qualifying round. So I guess people are doing their submissions because the Connected Cube lets you compete against people internationally. It can record your times and whatnot. So yeah, the qualifying round was from August 1st through to the 14th. So it's still happening right now. And to me, this was just, what? I can actually solve this now with some help, but the option is there. It retails for about $60 US from what I've seen.
Wow.
I kind of a video of a kid doing it and he solved it in 4 seconds.
How, dude? How? Like, that goes to show you that like one move opens the entire thing up, right? Like, it's 4 seconds. Like, how much time do you, like, how many moves can you make in 4 seconds?
Oh, that's amazing, dude.
Yeah. No, those kids are way smarter than me. Way smarter.
Oh, heck yeah. They're somewhere on the spectrum, high functioning.
Yeah, no, I assume that. What else could it be? So, yeah, no, that's dope. I like that it's Bluetooth. I like that it has a tutorial because I kind of need one. So, I support this. All right, let's jump right into it, Micah, with movie and TV news.
All right, first up,
or
topics.
News.
Yeah, we're just gonna call them topics so that we can talk about a wide variety of things. First up, Tim Drake, aka Robin, comes out as bisexual. Look, this is a long time coming. Batman has had a slew of Robins. He's had an aviary, for God's sakes. How many damn Robins he's had? By sheer statistics, one of them has to be a member of the LGBTQ plus community.
That's correct.
And it's Tim Drake. Now, I think this is good. I think this is great, right? It's something that, especially for a Robin. Like, the whole point of Robin was to give children someone that they can put themselves in as teaming up with Batman, right? Like, that's why Robin is a child, right? Like, otherwise, like, that really wouldn't make sense for this grown ass 28, 29, 30-year-old man to be hanging out with his ward fighting crime. That's why Bucky Barnes in the comics existed, right? Like, right. to give the readers someone that they can see themselves as, and that's another step in the evolution of that, with Tim Drake coming out as bisexual. I'm more of a, I think you should go a little bit further. I feel like it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to show it, right?
It's a visual medium.
Right. Like, you could say a character, like I watched Jungle Cruise, not too long ago. And one of the characters, he didn't come out and say, I'm gay, right? But it is heavily, 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 heavily implied. But
that's
it's
Disney
one thing.
For you.
Well, that's they want to have that movie in China, so
yeah,
they're not going to say it. But But I feel like if you don't show it, like, how serious are you?
Yeah, I agree. You know, give him a boyfriend, give him a girlfriend. Like, you know, at some point, you know, have them go down both roads. Here's my thing, and I say this with the utmost respect. I don't care. And I don't care from I'm not saying that from the like, why are you shoving down your bisexuality down my throat like conservative craziness? I don't mean it like that. I mean good. This should be a normal thing. And I wish that it wasn't a headline that these characters aren't straight. There are millions of comic book characters. Yeah, some of them are gay. Some of them are trans. Some of them are bisexual. Can we normalize it? Like, because it sucks that we have to keep, like, it has to be this huge announcement. These characters should just exist. Hey, does Tim Drake kick ass? Yeah, then I don't give a fuck who he's sleeping with. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm here for him kicking a criminal off a rooftop. That's what I'm here for. If there is a storyline with him and his boyfriend, great. That's a part of like the human elements of those characters. That's fine. But to me, this should only be a big deal, like from the perspective of people in that community. Like, yes, more representation is great. But like, if you have a negative feeling about this, you have to go get counseling. Like, that's my thing. So yeah, man. From that perspective, I shouldn't have to care, but it's not from a bigotry perspective. It's from a, like, this should be normalized and we shouldn't care, right? Like, holy shit, Tim Drake is bisexual. Like, okay. Like, cool, great. Like, when's the next issue coming out? Not like when North Star in the Marvel Comics came out as gay, like, you can tell the times have changed so much that it was North Star's gay. Let's have a big gay wedding and have all the characters there and they're all like, inclusion, right? Like, it had to be big because there was so little of that. But what it should be is like this. Okay, he's bisexual. Cool. Continue the story. Like, great. That's good. It just shouldn't be. I wish it wasn't a big deal, but people are so fucking ridiculous that it has to be. So good for him. Like, for him, he's not real. But good for that character. Good for the writers. I think it's great, and hopefully they can explore it in a smart way.
Good for what this represents.
Absolutely,
right? Because
absolutely.
He's not. I think the fact that he is a young character is the big thing, right? Like, because
he's also a popular character.
Right. Like, he's not the only gay character or LGBTQ character in the DC universe, right? No, Batwoman is a lesbian.
Alan Scott.
Alan
Scott's gay, right?
The first
Green Lanterns. Yeah.
Renee Montoya is a lesbian. Poison Ivy is bisexual. Harley Quinn is bisexual. Catwoman, I think, is fluid, right? But
yeah, she is.
But see,
I'm being a scumbag, right?
Though, right? But that's what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's okay when like hot chicks are like
two chicks at the same time, chicks, bro.
Right? Because like, oh yeah, it's easy for some dumb dude reading a comic book to insert himself in that situation, right? But
literally, that's not how it works.
But I think it's a big deal for Tim Drake because he is a young character, because he is a popular character, because he is a male character.
Yeah, that part, because he is a male character, right? Like, you're absolutely right. Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, to the cows come home, and they'd be like, great, yeah, let me draw some creepy hentai versions of these characters, right? Like, but male characters being openly gay or bisexual is a big deal. That part is a huge deal. You're right.
I agree with you. It'll be nice when these things are normalized, when it's not a headline, when it's just, this is part of their story arc. This is who it is. And it is nice to see DC finally embrace this, because I know that there's been a lot of ask from the community to make it happen. So I'm glad that they're finally letting this Robin Peacock.
God damn it.
Why do I feel like that very sincere lead-in was all to set up this?
Undercut. I respect it.
Look, next up, Chloe Bennett. You may know her as Quake from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She is stepping down as one of the 3 leads in the live-action CW pilot based on the Powerpuff Girls. She was set to star as Blossom, who is the pink one, I presume.
Sure. I don't know.
The pilot, which is currently titled Powerpuff, the show was originally in contention during the pilot season earlier this year for a potential fall date, but the CW made the decision to redevelop and reshoot instead. The CEO of the chairman and CEO of the CW, Mark Pedowitz, which is a very unfortunate last name.
Yeah, dude. What?
For someone
Come on, dude.
Powerpuff Girls.
Nah, change your name. Change your name. Come on, man.
He
So
called
that is what we're
Pedowitz.
using a 20-something cast. Okay. All right.
That's why she left. She was like, I'm not working for that guy.
He called the pilot a miss. He didn't like it.
It's a pretty ridiculous concept.
I mean, like Powerpuff Girls is a ridiculous concept, which is why it's a cartoon, right?
Right. A live action, hey, when they're older, like, I mean, it's a CW, so I don't feel like they need it to be that good to be popular over there, but like, that's pretty ridiculous.
So apparently she's leaving because of scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Now, allow me to be a ridiculous MCU-driven YouTuber. She's leaving because she's taking Quake into the movies in the MCU. Confirmed. Question mark. No, look.
It's a good schedule conflict to have.
Yeah. I gotta go. Bye.
TV, huh? I gotta go make a movie.
Yeah.
Bye.
And get real money. Look, I always thought this concept was very silly. Like, it's very, very silly. But it could work. I mean, stranger things have happened. So, I mean, she was their star power, so that's unfortunate. It'll be interesting to see if they replace her with a nobody, up and comer, or if they do they try to snag somebody else who's a name. So we'll see.
I really didn't know that this was a project that was happening until you guys put it up in the Google Docs. I was just like, oh, all right. Went and checked it out, and my kids loved that show. I'm a fan of Gendy Tatarovsky's work. I love that animated stuff. But as I was looking at the live cast, it was nice to see Dr. Utonium is being played by the guy from Scrubs.
Yeah, Turkleton.
Yeah, but then when I was looking at the Powerpuff Girls themselves, I was like, okay, so why does
Donald
Yana
Faison
Perot have to play the badass Buttercup? Why does the dark girl have to be the badass of the group?
Always.
Why can't exactly right?
Always.
Why couldn't she be the cute, bubbly leader of the group? It's like, okay, so she's got to be the dark, brooding one.
Yep. The second the cast came out, I was like, okay, so she's the dark, brooding one. Yeah, okay. Like, you didn't need to tell me that. Like, of course, because that's what Hollywood does. So, like, all right. And she'll end up being a fan favorite. I mean, that character's a fan favorite because she's a psychopath. But still, yeah. Look. I'd be shocked at this point if it even happens. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you got word in a couple of weeks or months that this project gets canceled altogether. So, too bad for Donald Faison. All right, next up.
Idris Elba posted a tweet with a 2-word tweet and a picture. It says "knock knock." And it's a picture of an echidna. Wearing a red echidna, wearing a white glove with a couple of real sharp knuckles on it. It appears that Idris Elba is going to be voicing Knuckles in the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. Now, I am going to need Idris Elba to either put on a Jamaican accent or a Ugandan accent. And if he doesn't say, "Do you know the way?" there is going to be a problem.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I don't need that. I will not be able to stop laughing in the theater if that happens. No.
Oh, that was brilliant. Thank you.
I didn't see the first Sonic movie. I hear that first Sonic movie is actually very good. I was a Nintendo kid growing up. When I was a child, I was a fanboy when it came to systems, and then I grew up and realized that like I can have them all because I got a job. My house wasn't a Sonic house, but I secretly went over to my friend Brian's house, who I really didn't care for, but he had a Genesis, and I just wanted to play his Sonic games. And yeah, I always liked Knuckles, right? I always thought Knuckles was coated black, right? Like he had dreads.
Let's climb some walls by punching them.
Yeah. He was mad all the time. Those are traits of black men: dreads and anger. So yeah, I always liked Knuckles, and I want to see these Sonic the Hedgehog movies now.
Sonic is on Hulu. I checked because once I saw Idris Elba was playing Knuckles, I was like, okay, I have to watch this first one now. And I was playing on it anyway because I heard it was pretty fun. Look, I think this is great. Like I love it. I love that they got someone this popular to play Knuckles. Like I think he's gonna have a fun time with this. So I look forward to it. I don't know who's playing Tails, which like I feel like you got to get a bit of a goofball, right, to play Tails.
I thought I saw Carrie say that the original voice actor for Tails was in the stinger of the first movie.
I didn't realize he said the character said anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see.
Miles per hour.
I'm in the same camp. I have to watch the first one too. And Idris has just one of those voices. It's kind of like Micah. You know, you hear that voice and you go, "Damn, that sounds good."
People often say that about me as well. You don't need to laugh, Rob. You don't have to laugh.
No, it's true. They do say it about me too.
Yeah, it happens.
But no bullshit, Rob. One of our co-hosts, friend of mine, he was listening to the show before he started guesting or hosting on the show, and he didn't know Jay at the time, and he was like, he was listening to Black on Black Cinema, and he was like, "Hey, Michael, oh, you got this white guy saying the N-word all the time." Like,
who was this?
Really thought that Jay was
who is this?
Terrence. Terrence thought you were.
He wasn't listening to Black on Black Cinema. That didn't exist.
No, he wasn't. Yeah, he
was
listening
to this show.
Yeah, he was listening to Nerdpocalypse.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Fuck Terrence. Get out of there. He's not here to defend himself. Shut up. Anyway, yeah, no, I think this is pretty cool. Like this is a fun project. I saw some people tweeting at him when he put this up there, like, "You're better than this," and all this stuff. So why would you do this movie? It's like, he's just probably having fun, man. Like, also,
why not?
It's probably not a lot of work, and he's probably getting paid a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I can't do stuff like Concrete Cowboy all the time. I got to do something fun every now and then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, it's like you can't do serious dramas. Like, yeah, sometimes you just want to be like, I'll be a dude. I'll be an animated character with dreads who punches things. That's fine. Like, great. It works for me. All right. Next up.
Last up for me, the live action cast of Avatar: The Last Airbender series is on Netflix. Look, everyone in the world says that this is the greatest cartoon ever made until The Legend of Korra came out, and then that is the greatest cartoon ever made. And I'm willing to believe them. I kind of want to catch up on it. It's very nice to see that these characters, who I presume were always meant to be some sort of Eastern-ish Asian. Are,
I mean, yeah, if you look at the cartoon, they definitely aren't white kids.
Are played by actors who look Eastern-ish Asian. I don't know what M. Night Shyamalan was doing with that other movie.
No idea.
He was giving it a twist.
Yeah, apparently.
How about if I make it bad? You ever thought about that idea?
I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see his new movie, but not enough that I didn't just go ahead and spoil myself. And now I don't want to see it. So that should tell you everything you need to know.
Oh, really? You went and found out the ending?
Yeah. I'm not going to bother. But look, I didn't know this was coming. If this now, I will watch this, and if this is good, then I'll go back and watch the cartoons.
That's how I feel about it too.
Did you watch Avatar or Korra, Rob?
No, I didn't. My son was very much into The Last Airbender, so it's kind of on the fringe, on the periphery, but it's not one that I ever personally really got into.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking. I won't say I'm looking forward to it. I will wait to see reviews, and if the reviews for this are like off the chart, then I'll make time for this.
Yeah, the one thing that makes me leery about it, though, is that the original creators, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, they stepped away from the project in 2018, citing creative differences with Netflix.
Yeah.
So you kind of hope that they're going to be able to actually do the story as opposed to just producing what Netflix wants. Yeah. And to bring it back to what you were speaking about earlier, not really liking kids. It is a very young cast, and it's going to take a special director to work with them to get the performances that they need to really sell this. Because, like you said, I mean, this is a huge franchise, and fanboys tend to be very unforgiving. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we'll see. But you have anything to say?
I was just going to say I read the what the ending to Old is. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Wow. Wow. Really? That is not good. That sounds really stupid. Thanks, but no thanks. All right. First, wait, what? Did I click on? I definitely seem to have clicked on the wrong story. Okay.
Yeah, you put the wrong link in there.
All right, whatever. Venom, Let There Be Carnage seems to have moved again. Now it's going to be in October, going head to head with Halloween Kills, incidentally. So it was set to open September 24th. It's now moving to October 15th. Okay. I still don't want to see it. So
I mean, closer to
no way.
Halloween, I think might make it a little. Well, no, it's moving away from Halloween, right?
No, it's moving closer to Halloween.
It's moving closer.
It was September 24th to the October 15th.
Okay, it was September. Yeah, moving closer to Halloween, I think, would help this movie. Look, I am. This is for Rob's benefit. I am. I don't hate Venom. Before people are like, you hate Venom. I don't hate Venom. But I
just like I don't hate The Rock, same way.
But I like Venom in relation to Spider-Man. I don't like Venom as a character on his own. I think Venom is a proper support character. And Venom is one of those overhyped characters for me, like Wolverine, like Boba Fett, like yeah, I like those characters. They're cool. But their fans are really annoying.
Yeah, they're the worst. That's true.
And it just kind of soured me on the character. But like, I'm just not interested in seeing a movie about Venom without Spider-Man being in it. And I haven't watched the first one. Probably.
Oh, really?
This. Yeah,
it's worth checking out, man. It really is.
I mean, look, no.
See, and that's for me. Venom is I love Venom. I fell in love with Venom in the 90s. The stories that they developed for him, and then the whole Carnage story arc. I mean, even with the Super Nintendo game Venom, I think it was Venom versus Carnage, and I've been hooked on that concept ever since. And the fact that Marvel developed this whole Clintar species, the Clintar homeworld, I didn't get into all of it, but Carnage as the original split, and watching the trailer, I had a raging nerd on. I'm so ready to see this movie. So ready to see this movie.
Well, apparently the studio is very pleased with what they've seen from the second movie.
Oh, yeah. Like the animation sequences for Carnage look like they've lifted it from the pages of the book. And I mean, you've seen the drawings. They're just so elaborate with the shape shifting and how everything moves. And they've done just from the trailer. I hope that that's consistent with the rest of the movie because, wow, visually stunning.
I will say the visuals in the trailer for this movie look much better. Like we talked about this, 2 weeks ago or last week. They look much better than the first movie, which I did not think were very good. And I have seen Venom. I was not impressed with it. I thought it felt more like a comic book movie that came out like around the time when Nick Cage was Ghost Rider. Like it had that sort of like weird, like contrived ending and things like, oh, they fell on this perfect platform to fight. It was like waiting for them. Like it was just very weird. But, this one looks better. I don't think it necessarily looks good, but I'm still on the fence on whether I'm going to watch it, but I'm leaning heavily on no. Like I am. So, we might have to have you on to give your thoughts on it because I just cannot imagine me rushing out to see this.
I promise I'll be watching it.
Yeah, I'll admit I am 100% biased. I'm biased. I did not give the first one a shot. So and look, from all accounts, everyone who has seen it, they either like it or they like something about it. But yeah, I just
I'll put it to you this way. It's a much better adaptation than the Topher Grace Spider-Man 3 adaptation of Venom because that was what was that?
That's yeah, you're right.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Man. I could slap Eddie Brock around.
Right.
It's horrible.
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
Oh, God, please kill Spider-Man.
Kill Spider-Man for me. Please. Oh, God.
That bell is so loud.
God is just like, shut your punk ass up.
Like, knock it off.
I'll send you an alien. Eat this.
Ridiculous. Oh, man. All right. Next up, this is kind of an interesting story. Sony's Funimation closes $1.2 billion Crunchyroll acquisition from AT&T, plans to create one anime service to rule them all. Crunchimation, I assume. AT&T has officially divested Crunchyroll, closing the sale of the anime business of Sony's Funimation Group. The telco, AT&T, looking for every opportunity to pay down its debt, sold Crunchyroll for $1.175 billion in cash, paid at closing. I feel like basically $1.2 billion is not a lot of money to pay for Crunchyroll. Like that feels pretty low considering how popular Crunchyroll is. Whatever comes out of this, like it's about time, right? Like I feel like, so much anime is like all over the place. I mean, it's largely like, a lot of the very, only released in Japan type of things, seem to end up on Crunchyroll, which is good for fans. But, you've got like Netflix has a lot of stuff and, all these other streaming services have a lot of stuff. If you could get one service that has just about everything besides the things that are like, created on Netflix, so to speak, that'll be pretty amazing for Sony. I think that's probably a really good acquisition for them. And since they are really bad at running their movie studio, they kind of need something. Like they do. Like their movie studio loses a lot of money for them every year. Like for years, they lost like $1 billion just on Sony movies. So this is like the one good purchase they've made. So yeah, their movies are not doing well. They should just sell them. They should.
I haven't watched anime on a regular basis since like the 2010s, somewhere in the 2010s. So I am out of the anime game, but this feels like a a good move, particularly for people who love watching this stuff.
Yep.
You got to call it Crunchyroll, because that name just it rolls right off the tongue, man.
You're not going to go with some other like vaguely Japanese food thing, like wasabi streaming service or something, like very silly, stereotypical.
Fucking sashimi.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, this feels like the right move. I would love to get back into anime. The problem is like the only people that I trust with the only anime that I watch was recommended to me by people who know me, and I don't get a chance to talk to them a lot anymore because they're like into it. He was like, you know what, you should watch this, right? And I don't trust certain people nowadays. You know what I mean?
Watch One Piece. There's only 9,000 episodes.
Yeah. Like there's legit over 1,000 episodes, so you can catch up. But depending on how much this costs, I wouldn't mind jumping onto this. It's got to be.
What's the threshold?
This is for me. I don't know how much Crunchyroll is. For me, this has to be under $10, somewhere between $5 and $10. I don't know what the Crunchyroll like pricing structure is, but if you want to get me into it, and maybe they're not looking for me, right? You should be looking for me because I have disposable income. But
$7.99, no ads, unlimited access to the Crunchyroll library, new episodes 1 hour after they come out in Japan, access to digital manga, yada yada yada. So yeah, that's probably where you want to be. $7.99. That's streaming on one device at a time. Ain't nobody else in your house watching anime.
That's the price point in Canada too. That's amazing. You know what? I love that it's $7.99 US and it's $7.99 Canadian. Thank you.
Yeah.
Some fucking parody for a change. I'm not getting ripped off.
Yeah.
This feels amazing.
Yeah, it's like normally like $9.99 in Canada. Like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the price. That's the price you guys pay for not having American freedoms. Whatever that means. But yeah, I think all the other ones are basically like be able to play it on like 6 devices or whatever. You're the only one in your house watching anime.
Yeah.
Device just The difference is you can stream on 4 devices and you have offline viewing.
Oh yeah,
options.
offline viewing. But again, that's not. I feel like that's not that important. Does Crunchyroll have hentai, or is it just the normal shit?
Yeah, I don't know if Sony's gonna buy a bunch of cartoon porn.
No, man.
They're not buying the Octopus library?
Right. Yeah. I don't think
Is there? Well, somebody had the same question I had. Are there hentai animes on Crunchyroll?
It's a legit question. For
the answer, this was I guess a number of years ago. There is much hentai here.
Wow.
All you have to do is PM the moderator to. Oh no, wait, no, that's on this board. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say, man.
Just PM the moderator at Crunchyroll and he'll hook you up.
Yeah. Does Crunchyroll have uncut?
And it's probably anime is like lewd as it is, right? Like there's a bunch of my brother-in-law was trying to get me into watching this anime, and like the main character is just like grabbing boobs and goosing butts and shit. And I'm just like, wow, okay, like is this what we're doing? He was like, yeah, he's kind of like that. I was like, oh, all right, calm down. Calm down.
I want to try to find, and maybe I should ask Tiara because she's locked into the like sort of Korean world. I was trying to find some like Korean like live action dramas. I hear they're really good.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends who live and die by those things. They love them.
Yeah. My cousin watches them too. But I hear they're very good. So I want to be able to. I don't want to have to. I'm not trying to go to like Korean drama 123 dot ko dot hacked. So like I wanted like a legitimate place to watch things. So yeah, look, good on Sony again. They have had some real nightmarish years with Sony Entertainment as far as just their films or Sony Pictures. So this is a good thing for them. Next up, breaking news just this evening. And this was the question I was going to set up as question of the week. So we don't even have to do it now. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings gets a new type of release setup. Well, it looks like the old Delta variant is, making some changes in the good old US of A. They are releasing Shang-Chi on time, but they are going to only have a 45-day exclusivity in the theaters before it hits Disney Plus. So this is what they should have done with Black Widow. That would have been the financially smart thing, in my opinion. But yeah, so if you live in a state, like we do, like Mike and I do, and I assume, like Rob does, that, people are taking care of themselves and not being stupid, you can actually go see this in the theater, and help out the movie. And then if you want to wait 45 days later, you can watch it at home for free on Disney Plus. Not a bad deal.
Yeah. As long as it's not like, if I got to wait 45 days and don't have to pay that extra $30, that's fine. Paramount, Plus has something similar.
Yeah.
We saw A Quiet Place Part 2, through Paramount Plus, recently because like, it was like, hey, here's day 45. Here you go. Here it is. I'll probably watch, Snake Eyes or let's scratch that. I'll probably have Snake Eyes on in the background while I'm working. When that 45 days
September 6th. I just Googled it.
all right. Look, this is I think this is a very good compromise.
Yeah.
People only really care, the movie studios, like they care about like overall numbers.
Right.
But that first weekend is the one that really like, that's where you make your most money when it comes to movies. So I think this is a very good compromise. I would love to see this in the theater. I don't know if I will.
All depends.
Like I feel like I gotta like, I feel like I should like represent, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
But at the same time, like I don't want to bring a deadly disease to my child. So
yeah, because Marvel's not doing press screenings right now, which means I got to go see it with the unwashed masses. Which means I ain't going to see it. Like, nope. So
I don't know.
Rob, what are your thoughts?
It's I don't know. I'm really of mixed minds. It's because there is a demographic out there that will spend their hard-earned money from home at the release date. And I realize it hurts the box office, but it's a new world. There needs to be a new calculation. There needs to be a new formula so that they can actually get to these people. There are shut-ins. There are people who aren't able to leave the home. So why not, if you have the ability to distribute the media, why not make it available to people? Maybe not on the release date. Maybe wait a week or two. Some people will pay the premium, but 45 days.
I feel like, like I agree with, like, I'm somewhere in between the two of you, right? Like companies do want that big egg to say, we made $150 million this weekend. We're awesome, right? They want to have that. They want to be able to like, get fans super excited, right? Like there is something to be said about seeing a movie first weekend on like a big movie, right? Cause you have like all the hardcore nerds and like-minded people are in there, seeing it. And that's super dope, right? But there is this reality that, you got to be in this place with all these people, and a lot of them are going to be unmasked or unvaccinated or whatever. Right. So, it's a dangerous game that we're playing. Like it really is. And giving people that option of being home. Yeah. I mean, look, I saw Black Widow in theaters, but I was absolutely willing to pay the $30 to watch it at home. Like I had no problem with that. I don't think it's unreasonable. Anthony, who is a longtime listener of the show, he made a suggestion, which I agree with, which was, why don't you just set it up that all of these movies, like this next phase, like just don't even worry about it. Or like the next few movies, just say, you know, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, and Eternals. That at least, and I mean, you could say Spider-Man too if you want, but like they really want people to go to the theaters to see that. Like, let's get real. But, and Spider-Man, and just say, look, all of these, you pay one price, right, to get them all, and they're like $40, right? And it's just like $40 for each one, and you're just guaranteed that you get these day and date, right? You charge a higher price, and you got to pay that all at once or something like that, and they can just get their money. That way they just don't have to think about it. But they want that big box office money. And there's another aspect to it, which is piracy, right? I mean, everybody talks about, you know, Black Widow not doing as great financially because, you know, the day and date stuff. But yes, but it's because the second it hits Disney Plus, it gets pirated. Somebody sits there, records it, dumps it up on the torrents, and then you've lost tons of money of people going, well, I'm not going to pay the $30. I don't have $30, right? They're not even bad people. I just don't have $30 and I want to watch it right now. Cool.
But if you don't have $30 to pay for the streaming service, you don't have $30 to go see it at the theater. So
right.
They're not losing. And I mean,
but there's going to be people who would have bought it or would have bought a ticket to see it in theaters, but they're home and they can get it for free, right? Like streaming, the case for streaming, which is why I never understood these companies all wanting to start their own streaming services and kind of fuck people over, incidentally, is piracy went down when streaming was really convenient, right? When it was just like Netflix and Hulu, piracy was like plummeting because people were just like, well, I'll just fucking watch this. Like,
it's easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Why am I like, I got to download a file. I got to figure out how to put it on a Plex server or stream it to my, from my computer to my TV, or I got all these cables and external hard drives. You don't have to do anything.
Which codec do I need to play this?
Right. Exactly. I'll better use VLC because it works for everything. Right. Like I know, Rob, you work in IT. We don't have a problem doing this, but other people do. And it's like a big fucking hassle. So when you're like, hey, this is on Netflix, people just like, all right, I was watching it on Netflix. It's not a big deal. But I can see now people just going, I'm just not going to pay for it. I can totally understand that. So piracy was a big deal with Black Widow. And for their first new character in a long time, I get why they're doing this. I totally understand it. But look, either way, I'm going to support the movie. But I'm not sure with the Delta variant being what it is, I'm not sure I'm going to see it in theaters, which is really fucking terrible. But like Shang-Chi, my daughter. Yeah. Like, sorry. Like, look, I like a good Kung Fu movie too. But like, dude, I'll see you in 45. Like, sorry. So we shall see. But it's interesting Disney is pivoting on this. This is another interesting topic this week. So apparently, AMC and Warner Brothers have come to an agreement that all of Warner Brothers' 2022 movies will end up with the same 45-day agreement. I think this is the new normal, right? Like this idea of 75 to 90 days, that's dead. Like, it's dead. Like, everybody's got massive televisions and access that they can watch all of this stuff. So now AMC is basically like, look, anything you put out, we get to have it for 45 days and then it goes to HBO Max. That's not bad. Spoilers. That's, the Batman, which I really want to see. Like, there's a lot of stuff Warner's coming out with. So, this year, I don't think all of their, day and date movies were very good. Most of them were not. But we'll see for 2022. Michael, what are your thoughts on the new standard? possible new standard.
Yeah, it feels like I don't know if I'll say this is the new standard, but you know, I haven't seen anything to disprove that. I think the 45 days is the sweet spot, right? It's a month and a half. You got a movie coming out every month. If you wait a month and a half, there's no reason it's too much trouble to cancel your subscription just to re-up it within that 15 days. You might as well keep it.
Hey,
right?
You know that 45 days was a perfect calculation. They're like,
that's
many
exactly
people?
What they did.
Because people
That's
don't.
Exactly what they did.
Yeah, they know.
Because people do right. Like people. I know people who canceled their Disney Plus the second the first season of The Mandalorian was done, and then they re-upped it, and now it's just like, all right, well, there's too much stuff on it now. I'll just keep it. Right?
Yeah. When people were like, I'm gonna do that forever, I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're not. If you got a movie coming out, if Warner's plans on introducing a movie roughly every month, and then a month and a half later, you're still
getting a movie a month. You're just getting a month and a half behind.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to cancel. So while this is this is for the first time since all of this stuff has happened, I am legit worried about the movie theater going experience. This is the first time. And I love going to the theater. To the movie theater. I think there's something about it when a group of strangers come together to
keep it real. Oh, sorry, that's a real world.
And they are participating in this communal activity, and it's firing on all cylinders, and it's wonderful.
It sounds like you're defining a urinal. Like that.
No, I was actually trying to define an orgy.
Oh, okay. But when an extraordinary group of people come together during extraordinary times. Like, wow, I'm here for the gangbang.
Like, yeah. But stuff like this, where, like you said, it's just too convenient.
Dude.
Look, and where I'm at in my life right now, yo, it's super convenient.
Look,
like, I want to go see Candyman, but if we don't get a screener to see it, I'm not going to be able to go see it, even if I weren't worried about the pandemic. I still wouldn't be able to go.
Right. Like, when do I have time? You and I have 2-year-olds. Like,
right.
When do you have time? Oh, they're asleep. Run out of the house. Like, no. Like,
right. Like, it's just, they are making it way too convenient. And,
look, we live in the best times. Like, also the worst, like the earth is on fire and we're all going to die probably in 30 years.
It was 120 degrees Fahrenheit in Italy. Yeah. The world is burning.
I mean, that sounds like a they problem, not an us problem. It was only 100 degrees here. So we're fine. We're going to die. But it is incredibly convenient. And so the article does say that Warner's already has this deal with Regal Cinema as well. That's it. Yeah, that cat is out of the bag. Look, Disney is doing Shang-Chi at 45 days. Literally the CEO was like, this is an experiment. When it works, and it will, that's it. It's a wrap. Because Regal and AMC is the biggest, right, of all the movie chains. AMC already has a deal with the biggest movie house. They're not going to do it with Disney? Of course they will. If Disney comes to them and says, hey, let's do this 45-day exclusivity, of course they will. Yeah. So, like, the movie theater industry is really fucked, because if you don't agree to it, they'll just be like, fine, we'll just put it on Disney Plus. Then what? We get 90% of the money back anyway. And you're like, shit. Like, yeah, you like, the streaming services have actually made it that they've created a scenario, a lose-lose scenario for the theaters, that they have to take whatever the movie companies bring to them and say, this is the deal we're doing, or we'll leave. Look, Disney is big enough. They don't need theaters. They don't. Like, that's the crazy thing. As much as, I love the theater experience. Yeah, I get all that. If Disney said, we'll never release one of our movies into theaters again, that'll all be on Disney Plus, and you pay, whatever access to get it this day, and then in 30 days it's there for free or whatever, they would make all of their money. They would have no problem. What? Kids not going to see Cars 7? Of course they will. They're not going to see Incredibles 3? Of course they will.
Yeah. They would see their subscription rates go up if they pulled up the theaters that way.
Dude, absolutely.
Okay, so I want Disney movies, and the only way I can get them is through this service.
Yep.
Done.
Look, I mean, if people go, no, that's not true. Look at Netflix. Netflix has Netflix original TV shows and movies that never touch theaters. And people have Netflix, dude. Like they do. Documentaries you'll never see anywhere else, right? So it's not hard. The fact that they kept it to 45 days is a miracle. Because they could have come to them and been like 15. Like they could say anything at this point and they'd be fucked. What are you going to say? Please don't leave. I'd be like, it's 45 days and cut the price of popcorn in half. Stop charging people so goddamn much money. Right? Because that's why people are running away from theaters. It's too expensive for tickets. It's too expensive to eat.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting. Like the streaming service it's been used as a cudgel, right? Like it's not necessarily like, this is a great thing for everybody. No, they're like, this is a weapon. Like we get to basically beat theaters into submission and do what we want to do. Because look back 6 months ago, there were articles about like, AMC, we're never going to change to those 45 days or 30 days. That's crazy. Now look at them. They're fucked.
But every time we set a target, the pandemic changes the scenario and we need to readjust. So that's where I'm saying like, okay, so 45 days is the formula for now. But once the industry really figures out the formula that works so that they can release and make their nut, who knows what it's going to be. Might be 30 days, might be 15 days. Like you said,
right.
If I'm coming to you, if I produced all of the content and you're just a venue to display it, I get to make the rules. I really do.
I mean, that's how Disney plays it.
Especially if I own my own distribution platform.
Right. Like you got to remember Disney gets, or any of these big movie companies gets like 50% of the money in theaters, right? 50 or 60%. I think Disney is like, basically like mob boss their way to 60%. Like you like money, give us 60%. You're like, all right, here you go. But like they've basically pushed their way to 60%, I believe. On Disney Plus, they get like 90%. Like, what is the argument? Like, if you can pull everyone over, no, it's over. The only issue is piracy. That's what you're dealing with with exclusive, and Disney and Warner Brothers knows that, right? Which is why they don't want to leave theaters completely. But after 45 days, most people aren't going to see those movies. Like, right? A movie, unless it's a Endgame or some other big movie that lasts a super long time in theaters, really the first 3 weekends is pretty much it. That's pretty much. Like, after that, fans are like, oh, I've seen it 7 times. But like, those are like minor folks. They're not, those are like Tiara. Like, she's a crazy person. But, normal people like, hey, I'm really excited about this movie. I'll see it in weekend 1 or weekend 2. That's really it. Like, if we're being honest, like, how many movies has people really seen that's been out for 4 weeks? No, you don't even care about it at that point. So yeah, 45 days. It's not bad. Month and a half. I'll take it. That's how I'm probably going to end up seeing a lot of things. Last but certainly not least in topics this week, Disney and other companies, including Warner Brothers, are only paying comic book creators, Disney specifically, is only paying comic book creators $5,000 for their work that's adapted into movies that makes billions of dollars. So apparently they have like this deal like, hey, Ed Brubaker, you made The Winter Soldier. We made that movie and it made $1 billion and is a super popular character. And we even made him the co-head of a Marvel Disney Plus series. Here's $5,000 and you get to come to the premiere.
Which he didn't even get invited to.
Yeah, he didn't get invited to The Winter Soldier, which is crazy.
The deal is $5K and you get to come to the premiere. Here's your money. Don't tell him about the premiere.
Fuck that guy. Was he ever done
Unless
for
he
us?
asks for it.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
But like, I feel sympathetic when I read this article, but there is a sentence in this article I'm like, well, yeah, that's why you're not getting this money. So the article basically says they should be paid more because their properties that they created have made billions of dollars, even though they are considered work for hire contractors. What are your thoughts on this?
Rob, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. And I think that's the caveat. It's that these are contracted workers. And once you sign that contract, there just needs to be clear language as far as how that IP is developed, because the studio owns the intellectual property. The writers just create these beautiful, elaborate stories for us. And if it's a hired gun, well, here's your base fee, here's your lump fee, and the job's done. Hey, we adapted it into something else. Here's $5K. Well, turn it into some kind of profit sharing revenue because this is the person who created the story. And then when I hear, I don't know, I just feel that there's such a disparity as to the pretty faces they put on screen.
Yeah.
And then the people that actually do all the work, all the creative process, all of the support process. At the end of the day, you could replace a lot of these actors with nobodies and still get a good performance. Just for shit, man, I could have been Peacemaker.
Yeah, you could have walked around with a toilet on your head. It's a beacon. It's a beacon of freedom. Micah, what are your thoughts?
I understand the line of thinking that people have. But you got to understand that, like, these people agreed to essentially sign their ideas away for profit. And this is not the only industry that this has happened. We're going to talk about The Witcher later. The author of The Witcher, Andrei Sapkowski, he was trying to sue CD Projekt Red because CD Projekt Red is the company that made the 3 games, and like they've really blown this Witcher product. They put it on the map.
Right.
And Andrei Sapkowski, he's like, I want to get paid. And they're like, we did pay you. Like, he sold the rights to his novels, his characters, like everything. He sold the rights to everything to this company. And this company blew it up, and they're reaping the reward. And now this company is very, to him, they're very nice to him. Like, they've reworked a deal with him. Disney ain't going to do that. But this company was nice enough to do that, but they're not obligated to do it. Same thing with Bungie. Bungie, they created Halo, guys. They created Master Chief, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
But like, they don't work for Microsoft anymore, and they couldn't take that. They can't just because you created it using resources that were provided to you by a producer. That's why when the Academy Award for Best Film is given out, it's given to the producers. It's not given to the actors.
Yeah, fuck them. I spent the money on this.
Right. Like, it's not given to the writer. So I understand why people are thinking the way they think, but at the same time, like, it's the price of doing business with a big company. Now the argument should be this big company and this creative, maybe they can reach a different agreement. Mm-hmm. But if that's what you signed, then that's what you signed. I feel bad, but I don't. So
that's kind of how I came away from the article, right? Like, the article has an agenda. The article is like, feel sympathetic for these writers and these creators.
Sure.
Because, Endgame made $2.8 billion, and the guy who created the guy who created Thanos got like, they sent him a lollipop and like a little check. Like, good job, buddy. Like
little purple chin ones.
You know, like they just sent him like the kids, you know, like glove. Like, oh, check this out. Come to the premiere. I go, fuck you, right? Thanks for nothing. And
we'll buy your popcorn.
Yeah, or not. You pay for it yourself. We didn't set the price.
We'll reimburse you.
Yeah. Check with us in 45 days. Right? If you remember. So, like, it has an agenda, and I'm not mad at that agenda of the article, right? Because I think fundamentally, as a human being, I can understand it. And I agree with it, right? But that's why contracts exist, right? Like, you are a work for hire contractor, or you work for this business. That is how business works. Now, you can have a problem with capitalism. You can have a problem with being a contractor and stuff like that. But they didn't dupe you, right? Like, if you wrote Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or you wrote Daredevil or you wrote The Winter Soldier, you wrote those stories way before the MCU existed. Way before they had planned to take those things and make live action stuff out of them. Like, so you can't just be like, well, that should, you know, I should retroactively get that. Like, that's not really how life works. I'm not mad if Disney or Warner Brothers decides that they want to rework and do a contract with you. I'm not mad at that. They're not obligated to do that.
Right. I think they should, but they're not obligated.
Right. I think they should, but they're not obligated. But the big sentence in this article is incredibly important, and it does a lot of heavy lifting. Unlike actors, directors, etc., who have, magic word here, unions, helping them fight for certain things, comic creators are left to fend for themselves, and in many cases, hope that their grievances are aired in public to draw more attention to the challenges they're facing. Union labor fucking matters, okay? Having unions, collective bargaining matters. We have destroyed unions in this country, not to get on a soapbox, like, but these are the kind of things why you need unions, right? This is why Amazon doesn't want unions and shit like this. Right. This is a reason why comic book writers should have a union. Like, they should, right? They should have a big union across DC, Valiant, Marvel, all of that shit, IDW, all of it. There should be one fucking comic book writers union. That way you can negotiate those things.
Why do you think athletes get paid a shit ton of money?
That's right. They're not negotiating on their own. They're not. Hell no.
Representation.
Yeah, representation legally also matters. So, so like, unions are a really big part. That sentence is doing a lot of heavy lifting in this article, and it should be the thing that people are concentrating on, the fact that they aren't in a union, right? Like, that should be a thing that they do. That being said, I think they should get paid. I think it should be, it doesn't have to be a huge percentage. It doesn't even have to be 1% of what these movies make. It could be 0.25%. But guess what? 0.25% of $2.8 billion ain't a bad payday when you drew a couple of characters and wrote a couple of stories. That's not a bad deal. But I think I won't even say ethical thing to do, because it's not about ethics. Like, you sign a contract. The good human thing to do is...
No, you've nailed it. It is ethical. Just because something is legal and contractually right doesn't make it ethical.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, like, if I was Disney, look, you created the Winter Soldier? Dude, that's a super popular character. Just, like, I don't know, you don't have to hit the dude with $5,000. That's just insulting. But, like, here you go, here's $100,000. Like, what's $100,000 to them? It's $100,000.
You could at least up the payout, the one-time payout.
$5,000?
Right? God damn.
Come on, man. Knock it off.
That won't even wipe out a credit card.
right. Like, I got bills, man. I got bills. I'm a comic book writer. I got bills. So, give him $100,000. Kick him $100,000, right? Like, no big deal. The other part of this that I find, like, really interesting is that, like, they have these special character contracts with some people, but, like, you have to ask, and they're not guaranteed to give it to you. Like, that's a specific thing with Marvel. I'm like, nah, dude, you can't do, like, half in, half out. Like either pay the people, set up a contract, and get it done, or don't. Like, that, it's just, that to me doesn't seem fair. But no, they're not obligated. Like, and again, this article has this agenda like they should do it. Yeah, they should. But that doesn't make the company bad because you signed a contract and it's like, yeah, we're just sticking to the contract. Like that, they're not hiding that from you. The other thing I will give you, like, I'll give people an example. I work at a very specific place that does science, right? And as a scientist there, whatever you create does not belong to you. And I know a guy who a number of years ago created a heart stent, right? The stent that you put in your heart, you know, in case you have a clog or whatever. Or excuse me, no, a brain stent. And he did it a different stent than anyone else has ever done, right? It was like a new thing. This guy created it. Like in his work that he was doing, he created it. He made, I don't work for a company. Let's say it's run by let's say if you pooled all of your money together and it was collected at the end of the year, an organization that would do that is who I work for. That made them a lot of money, right? Because what they do is they take that and then they send that patent out and people purchase it and then they create them, right? Like, and then that money is just used for more research. It's not like, hey, we getting paid. Like, it doesn't work like that. It made the company I work at like $2 billion, right? Like a lot of fucking money because it was used and it was this great thing. That dude's a bench scientist. They gave him like, it's like $15,000 check one time. That's it. They made billions of dollars.
See, and then I think of,
but that's,
like
and by the way,
3M.
they gave him that $15,000. That was out of the kindness of their heart. That is not in his contract where he works. It's not.
And 3M has a business model whereas if somebody in-house creates an idea, you actually get residuals from those ideas. So the guy who hey, I've got a bad batch of glue and I'm going to make Post-it notes. Okay, so you fucked up your glue and you turned it into a multi-billion-dollar idea. Well, I would love to be the guy that screwed up that glue and invented this because he's still getting residuals because that's exactly it. They're not obligated, but he helped create a product in-house that was a game changer. So why not reward that kind of effort?
It actually, what it would do,
it incentivizes people to create and to do more.
Right. Like think about what how the writing would change if you got compensated and you got residuals, if your stuff got to the movie levels and it became this big success and, you know, like whatever, for every $1 million, you know, you get some percentage or whatever. Imagine what that would do. Like they'd be shooting for the moon on their writing, dude, all the time. Like, holy shit, this might work. Like you would get characters like with deep, rich history. Like they'd be working overtime because somebody wants to hit that bank and like, holy shit, this idea worked. Like they would. So yeah, it would breed even better content. I mean, hopefully, and not just a bunch of shitty content that they're just really hoping just works on screen. And they don't really
Cage it. Just write 400 stories. One of them will stick.
Yeah. Just do anything. But yeah, look, DC's no better, right? Like they got the Marvel Studios logo here. But DC's no better. They apparently seem to do the same thing. They just don't have a number by which they pay their creators of $5,000, which is insulting. Like it's just insulting. Give me that $5,000. I need it. All right. Next up, what the fuck brought to you by JTD, Micah?
A woman crashes her ex-boyfriend's wedding and ends up becoming his co-wife. Recently, it was reported that
Canada,
story of
Canada, wherever Rob lives, this is where this is happening.
Recently, it was reported that a bizarre story of a young man who ended up marrying both of his fiance and ex-girlfriend at the same time after the latter crashed his wedding ceremony. Last month, a 20-year-old from this place was in the process of marrying his betrothed when his ex-girlfriend burst in asking that she marry him as well as his second wife, claiming that she couldn't get over their relationship. Instead of making a scene, the guy's fiance actually agreed to the proposal and told the young man that she accepted his former fling as his second wife. So he ended up marrying both of them in the same ceremony.
India.
Where is this?
India.
Where is this, Rob?
Saudi Arabia.
Indonesia.
Damn it. So close. That's insane.
Wild, man. This is wild.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. My husband's ex-girlfriend found out about our plans to get married on social media, as many friends were congratulating us. Because of that, she asked to be his wife too. The first wife told Indonesian reporters. Minutes after we arrived at his house, she showed up and asked to be married to him too. The 20-year-old groom declared himself shocked to see his ex-girlfriend, who had known since 2016. After talking it over with his family, he decided to marry both of them. They settled on the same dowry for both wives. That's it.
I mean, look. Yo, why did they blur out their faces in the top image, and then when you go down, like,
right, you look
it's
at the
clear.
video,
it's clear as day.
Like he's there. Yeah, look at that guy's face.
But I like that blurred picture because one of the girls is smiling and two people look miserable. So I think I know who the ex-girlfriend is.
Look, this is full on crazy.
This is amazing. What the fuck just happened?
Why did I agree to that? Oh my god! Internalize patriarchy. Yeah, this is not a good idea. One, you shouldn't get married at 20. That's crazy.
You shouldn't get married when you're unemployed to two wives.
Right.
Maybe they're gonna work. He's like twice the income. Yes.
News of the union
Homer,
sparked.
you're forgetting what two wives can do. Marge, I hear chopping, but I don't hear digging.
So the guy apparently warned other Indonesian men not to follow his example because they'll find out how difficult it is to support two wives.
Really?
The 20-year-old is currently unemployed and plans to travel to Malaysia to try his luck at a job.
Nah.
Leaving the two women in charge of the family.
Nice try, dude. He ain't coming back. You know, like, come on. These women can't be that stupid.
He just stepped out for some smokes.
Yeah. No. I'm just going to Malaysia. Oh, well, okay. Look, Malaysia's not that far away from Indonesia, but that's not the point. Like, you let that dude leave the country, he's out. Like, you ain't never gonna see him again. That's crazy, dude. He's not coming back.
I mean, the two wives, they don't really know each other, but like they're like, all right, we'll make it work.
Nah. You trying to be married to two women at the same time, Micah?
No, it's very difficult being married to one. And I love that one, but, no, I can't imagine. I can't.
Rob?
I cannot.
Two?
My wife,
no way.
My wife snores, and it was so bad yesterday that I had to sleep in our guest room. I can't imagine it coming from both ends.
Oh, that's Dolby Atmos speakers right there. Like.
Yeah, right. I don't need THX surround sound for.
You're the guy in the chair with the tie going there.
Touching it from both sides.
No. Being married, like, and I can say profoundly that sounds like a terrible idea. Also, while I say that, and I know people are like, well, that's not right that you're saying that about your wife. I say that at the same time knowing that if you ask my wife, could she be married to two of me? She would be like, fuck no. So, no. No, you should not have more than one spouse. This is not, was it Big Love, right? They had that one big backyard. He had three wives.
Jeez. Yeah. No.
No, thank you. And at 20? No. Knock it off.
That poor kid doesn't know what he's doing.
No.
He's a kid, yo.
He's a literal kid. Yeah, he is. He's not coming back from Malaysia. Like, ladies, sorry, he's not.
Still looking for a job. Love you. Give her a kiss for me. Bye.
By the way, this number, for some reason, my phone is cutting out, so probably not going to be able to call you ever. Click. Now that dude is making a run for it. All right, Rob, your story is up.
All right. So I found this story about a flight attendant named Mason Stevens who is undergoing some MMA training for flight attendants, not just the basic self-defense, because she needs to protect herself from a demographic of passengers who are becoming more and more unruly in the air. What country could this possibly be happening in?
One, this feels slanderous towards our great nation of freedom. But yeah, this is definitely us. We're the idiots.
Unfortunately so, yeah. So this is a Southwest Airlines flight attendant, and there wasn't much of an article. It's just a short video. And what I really enjoyed about the video was towards the end, the larger air attendant that they were interviewing. This is a large black man. Looks like he weighs about 320, 350 pounds.
Oh, I was just about to play that clip. I was trying to find it.
Oh my God. And it's just amazing. He's talking about an incident on a flight in Albuquerque. You got this?
I have it. Yep.
I love you. Awesome.
Hold on. Hopefully this works out well. Okay, have you heard this?
Now understand something. I'm a flight attendant. That means I attend the flights. Sometimes our job has us attending to crazy people. If you push us too far, you're going to have to attend this ass whooping. You see, because on this particular flight, I'm sitting in the jump seat and I'm just looking at him like the damn fool. He's spitting and cussing and going crazy. I say, that's enough. I got up and I walked over there. And by the way, this man smelled like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes, 4 shots of Everclear alcohol, and regret. So I know something's about to go down. At this point, he touching all over my coworker's breast. And where he f***ed up at is when he touched my titties. Because I don't play that. So what I did is I took out the duct tape. I said, he got scared, started stuttering, say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. I said, yeah, we about to mummify your ass now, boy. So we wrapped him up. Better than any Christmas present you will ever see. He won't be coming on no more Frontier flights at all. Now understand.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy's he's just doing like a parody. But that shit is hilarious.
That was pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah, he's just a comedian. Yeah, he does a couple of like he has a YouTube channel of all of these kind of things. But no, look, people have lost their minds on flights. Like Americans have lost their minds. It's kind of crazy. So
yeah, we can't go. God damn it. God damn it. Like this shit is embarrassing.
It is.
Like I can't like. And like I've been to other countries, and I'm sure other countries have that nonsense, but like it really feels like they're not like this, right? Like having to duct tape people to seats and shit. Mm-hmm. What kind of uncouth shit is this?
Yeah,
to be that belligerent, to be that entitled, to really, when you buy that ticket. There's a contractual obligation. I'm going to follow these rules in order to stay on this flight. Yep. And the whole incident was spurred by there was a gentleman just not wearing his mask properly. He was wearing it under his chin, and that was what really prompted the altercation on the plane. So, unless you're flying executive class, you don't have anybody waiting on you hand and foot. The flight attendant is there to help you if you're in medical distress. They're there to help make sure that everything occurs the way that it should during the flight. They're flight attendants. They're not your maids. They're not,
that dude in the video yelled, "My parents are worth $2 million. Sorry that I'm white." What's his actual response? They were like, "All right, that's cool. We're going to duct tape the shit out of you."
Yeah. Can we start with his mouth? Just shut him the fuck up.
Yeah,
man. Jesus Christ.
But every time they ask these people to wear a mask, they flip out. I'm like, you're getting on a plane.
I paid $15,000 to be here. Yeah, well, you got to leave Disney. See ya.
Yeah, see ya. Like, also, you're on Frontier, dude. That is like one of the cheapest airlines. It's the Spirit Airlines of like the Midwest. So No, knock it off. Like, just stop being a dick. That's all you have to do. Just stop being a dick.
Stop being a dick.
It's not that hard. My story has a hell of a headline. I shit you not. Man suffers permanently disfigured penis after getting it stuck in a padlock for 2 weeks. Embarrassed mother tells medics, quote, he likes putting it through small holes.
Who doesn't?
That's fair. The man, 38, clamped the padlock around the base of his penis 2 weeks ago, but he lost the key and his genitalia began to swell. How do you not know where that key is before that experiment starts?
First of all,
are there no locksmiths in his area?
No. The big question is, if you're going to use a lock as a cock ring, you have to use a combination lock, yo. Like, you can't
don't use a
key lock because you're going to lose the key.
Also, you don't have an angle grinder? Like, come on, man. Like, just knock it off.
Oh, man.
I cannot imagine.
I feel like this is in like an Asian country, yo. Like, I'm trying to.
That's a racist. That's a racist thing to say.
This is in an Asian country.
Well, let me give you a couple more details. He tried and failed to remove the metal device, so left it until it became infected, which is what you do. His mother said that her son did not have a girlfriend. No shit. And he was bored because he had been staying at home during the pandemic. 38.
Scheisse, that sounds German to me.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, because they do some freaky shit over there too.
Kick me in the balls.
Yeah, nope. They do. Yeah, nah. I'm gonna say, like, you know what? We were just in Indonesia. I'm gonna say Indonesia. How about that?
You're a racist. It's not Indonesia. It's in Bangkok, Thailand.
Is it Bangkok?
It is Bangkok.
God damn. Lockcock, Thailand.
Oh. I just cannot imagine ever being so bored that I'm going to put a padlock over my dick. Not going to do that. And you're right, Micah. You got to know the combination.
But if you lose the key, God damn it, go see a locksmith. I'm being just, hey, I'm starting to lose sensitivity in this thing. Hey, it's swelling up and it feels really uncomfortable. This isn't going to get better.
I feel like
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like you'd be super embarrassed to go see a locksmith, but a locksmith is going to get that lock open way faster than going to the hospital where they have to use a grinder, right?
Yeah, like they have a picture of it here, man.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. And they're pouring, I guess they have water on it to clear away the shavings and eventual blood from the premises. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
no. That's not what that's for. That's to stop sparks. Like, you ever seen, like, right. Like, you know, like, if you got like a wet sander, you know, or like a wet saw to like cut ceramic, like, yeah, that's to keep that line straight that you're cutting and to cut down on sparks and shit.
Yo, whatever happened to just good old fashioned masturbation?
I don't know. It still works for me.
Like, come on, man. Wow.
Like, they got tools in the trade, man. Like, they got things you can use. They're built for your pleasure. You don't have to do this. You don't have to get a, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what a lock company is. I'm trying to think, but like don't do that. MasterLOCK, right? Like, you don't have to go to fuck. Yeah,
don't masturbate. Think MasterLOCK.
I mean, that sounds like a show title to me.
You write it down. Don't masturbate. Use MasterLOCK. Like, it's that's crazy. That's just crazy to me.
Oh, shit.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Wow.
man.
All right. Trailers this week. The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. Micah, you go first. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't know this was coming out until I saw this today, and I am into it. Look, I'm usually not a high fantasy person, but I got into the Witcher universe when I played the first game, like years and years and years ago, and I thought it was interesting. And
you still haven't watched the show, right?
I still haven't watched the show. I'm going to watch the show before season 2.
Okay,
I am a fan. I am a fan. I just haven't had time. And I know Henry Cavill is like a big dork, and he too likes this stuff. So I'm interested to see his portrayal. But my portrayal is the Geralt is so synonymous with the video game version of it that
right.
Like it's hard for me to. Anyway, but I'm going to watch it, and I'm also going to watch this. This doesn't have Geralt as the Witcher, but like the Witcher is a title, right? Like they're just like monster hunters, and yeah, man, I think this looks awesome. I like the animation. I like the style. It looks good to me, man. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yep. What are your thoughts, Rob?
It the animation style felt very much like Castlevania. That's on
what
Netflix. Also.
I assume that was the same house, actually.
Right? Yeah. So it's very promising in that respect because it looks like it's going to be good, and it's just another foray into the Witcher universe. They're just developing it further. Like Micah was saying, I mean, this is just an order. This is what they do. So it's just, this is another character. And so but yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of anime, and this one looks good. I think I'm definitely going to be checking this one out.
Have you watched the,
I haven't watched the live action now.
No? Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. I like the animation style. I didn't finish, Castlevania. I watched maybe like one or two, probably actually 2 or 3 episodes, of that sort of first season. And I dug it. I mean, it's a little creepy and weird. But I dug it overall. Yeah, this looks cool. I like the Witcher universe. It's interesting to me. I mean, it's clearly just as violent and creepy as like a Castlevania game, in a lot of ways. But yeah, I mean, this kind of reminds me of, not in animation style, but this is like Vampire Hunter D, that like the very first anime I ever watched. Right. So it's just like, wow. Okay. Like, cool. That's how old I am. But
I'm in good company then.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, Mike and I had a conversation with somebody about, did they know what Barney Miller was yesterday? See, Rob knows what Barney Miller is. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
See, old. So yeah, look, I'm cool with this. It looks fun, and it's the August 23rd or something like that.
Yeah, it comes out in like 10 days.
Yeah. So.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. All right. No worries. I will check it out. All right. Any other parting words?
Rob, would you tell the folks about your show and where they can find it?
Absolutely. So TLS Live Show, we talk about a variety of current topics and have guests. Micah comes and does a movie segment with us once a month. During the Olympic month, we had a couple of Olympians, but you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, just about everywhere. We've got a live podcast, and then you can check out our episodes as we host them, but you can join us live every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I was saying, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. And what we're going to be doing is actually this Sunday is going to be the last show of season 2. And then we're taking a couple of weeks to just rejig things and launch season 3, do a full relaunch. So some exciting times for us.
Nice.
I listen every week. I can't tune in live just because of my schedule, but I listen on the podcast episodes, and I enjoy the show. There's a very good dynamic between the four hosts. They talk about topics that you hear about and some that you don't. What I appreciate is the live audience participation. So if you can be there on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern, check it out. Yeah, man, I dig it. I dig it, and it's a pleasure to be on that show. So we got to.
We love having you. Just got to find a movie that everybody likes.
Yeah. That's
not going to happen.
That's the rub, man. That's the rub. I saw Liz say that she watched Suicide Squad. I'm like, why is she watching Suicide Squad? Get out of here. What on earth made you think when you saw that trailer that this would be something that I would like? Get out of here, Liz. But yeah, it's a very cool show, and I dig it very much.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Until we see you guys again, Rob, again, thank you for coming in, man. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, there's our Canadian connection. All right, we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
See ya.